Welcome back. In this Cover Your Assets CYA video, we're going to discuss adding files. Now, what do I mean by that? Because, after all, isn't CYA backing up files already? Well, yes it is. For example, when CYA backs up the etc directory, etc, or the lib directory, it's backing up everything in that directory. All files, everything. You're also able to add your own custom directories. So if there's a directory or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 directories you want in addition to the default stock standard directories, you're able to add them. However, there may be times that you're thinking, look, I need to just back up 2 or 3 files in this one directory, and I don't need every single file in a certain directory. I only want 1 or 2 in there. That's fine, and that's exactly what the point of this is. This is so when you have certain additional directories, not the standard ones again, not like var and lib and usr, user, whatever, not those, but we're talking maybe you have a slash. Well, it's for system stuff. This is not for user. Your own user data, you should be using a different system. But at least for your actual system-related files, you may decide you install a program in slash custom or something like that, and you're like, I just want this one file. Or you just want to capture a config file from a specific directory. You're able to do that. So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to get out of this. And I'm sitting in /home/CYA. Let's ls the root system, and you'll see here that we have this custom directory. So I've created that, and if I ls space and then get a list in that directory, let's say, for example, we just want the log file right here, right there. And as I've said in previous videos, this is a VirtualBox machine, and the mouse isn't always spot on. Not really sure why that is, but it just isn't. So anyway, let's say we just want that log. So what we want to back up is, in essence, /custom/log. That's what we want to back up. So what we do is I'm going to ls the home/CYA directory. And you see here we have a cya.conf file. That's where we do that. So let's take a look and see how we do that. So I'm going to clear this. I'm going to run cya space config file is one word, cya space config file, hit enter, and you'll see I'm just going to keep hitting enter to get down here where it says add specific files to include in backup. You're able to back up specific files instead of whole directories. You should keep in mind this is only necessary for directories not included in the backup. Also, files will be stored in a subdirectory called cya-backup-files inside the backup profile directory. So what you simply do is you would copy this backup all uppercase underscore files all uppercase equals and then quote quote, and between quotes you put your file names. And down here I give an example. We have /custom/mylog space /custom/subdirectory or subdir/config, because you can specify any file. It's the full path. And then I give a third option here /app2/config/settings. These are just examples. So let's go ahead and copy this. And again, VirtualBox, the mouse is a little kind of sporadic here. Anyway, so I'm going to quit out of this, clear this, and we need to do sudo because we're not the owner of this file. I'm going to use VI, use nano or Emacs or Emacs, or you can use. We could use a visual text editor like Plume or gedit, but you'd have to run it in sudo mode. Anyway, I'm going to use VI. So VI, and then what we need to do here is I need to then do cya.conf for config. Hit enter. Type in my sudo password, and now we need to add that actual, the flag, if you will. Now, order does not matter in the cya.conf file. You can have any order you want. It's totally irrelevant. So what we're going to do here is between these, I've pasted in, so you can see here I have backup all uppercase underscore files, all uppercase, equals, and then quote, quote. So between these quotes, I'm going to add in custom/log. And now I'm going to save this. So now if I cat that file, you can see here we have our backup_files equals, and then that custom well, it's the full path to the file, the complete path. So now let me clear this and let's run a backup. Let's do CYA keep, and then we will do, say, let's call it how about file test. Well, got to do keeps, name, then file. Well, let's just go through to actually do it this way. CYA space keep, and we'll just do it this way. So we'll do file test. So it's creating the file test. It's backing up boot and root. Now let me just specify this. I've said this in previous videos, but in case you've jumped straight to this video or you've forgotten, it's been a while. Right now, this copy of CYA, just to show features like this, I have edited CYA to only back up the boot folder and the root folder because I don't want to wait for several minutes for it to copy var and etc. And I'm on a spindle drive right now, but even if it's on an SSD, why copy all those files just to show some examples? Your copy, the copy you'll use, will actually copy everything it needs to. But again, just for demonstration purposes, I have edited CYA to only copy boot and root. But you can see here it's backing up custom/log, so we got that file. So let's go into, well, I'll clear this, and I can do CYA space list, and you'll see here we now have our file test. And if I clear this and I go into cd space points directory, and then I go cd space file test directory, and I ls this, you'll see here we have our CYA-backup-files. And if I go into that directory and ls it, you'll see here we have our custom directory. And if I cd into that, then you'll cd space custom and ls that, you'll see we have our log file there. Now let's say we want to actually add an additional file. So let me go to cd/custom ls this, and let's say we now want to add this dir right here. So if we go into cd dir and ls this, let's say we want to add this file. So the full path, if you ever want to check, is just pwd for your present working directory if you go to that directory. So we need to specify /custom/dir/file because we actually want the file. So let's do that. Let me go back to cd space /home/CYA, and I'll clear this. And of course you could type in the full path to edit this, but I'm just going into a lot of these directories to make less typing. But you could certainly stay in any directory and just issue the full path and call up the commands and locations that way. Anyway, so what we need to do is we need to edit the CYA.conf file. So I'm going to do that. We have to issue sudo because we don't own it. I'm going to use vi, then space CYA.conf. And in this backup_files equals quote, we need to add in that extra file. So I'm going to hit insert, hit space, then type in /custom/dir/file because that's the full path to our file. Now, when you're doing, in another video I talked about backup directories, you need to end it with a slash, but files obviously don't end with a slash because they're a file, not a directory. So I'm going to save this, and if I cat that file, which is cat space CYA.conf, you'll see here that now we have two files instead of one file. So let's go into the points directory again, and let's go into, well, if we ls this, so you can see again we have file test. So if I go file test here, and then I go in, well, let's ls this just so you can see it. So if we go back into CYA-backup-files, then you will see here that we have a custom. And if I go into custom, if I type it correctly, and ls this, you'll see we just have log. But we want to get that dir in there. So now I'm just going to sit here. You can be anywhere in the file system because, as long as it's in your CYA programs in your path statement. So I'm going to issue CYA space file, or let's go keep, hit enter, and I'm going to issue file test. Now watch, this is going to fail because it's already in use. So what happens then if I want to update that with the new, because any new backups I do will have that. How do I get those files into this directory because I want to have that be the case. So what you have to do is you have to manually execute this. In the future, I may build it in. So in the future, if you're listening to this recording months from now or something, I may build it in where you can do it through this, where you can actually, it'll ask you if you want to overwrite yes or no, but right now it doesn't. So the way to do that is at the command line. We do CYA space keep space name. Then we're going to have to issue space and type in the name file test space and allow for overwriting by typing in overwrite. So that's CYA space keep space name space file test, because we want to update this specific profile, space overwrite to give the overwrite option. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And now you see here it actually also has the custom /dir for directory /file. So if I ls this, now we have the dir. And if I ls the dir, we now have file. So now that is in our backup directory. So it's in our profile. That's literally all you do. So, but just keep in mind that if you, as you add in files, they will not be included in any current backups until you run and update those backups. So if you had 10 backups and you add in a file, until you go back and modify those backups, they're not going to have those files. Also, let me say this. If you remove a file, like let's say for example, we go here, clear, and now we want to edit sudo space vi, and then we're going to edit this. And let's say, you know what, we no longer need that log file. So I'm just going to take that log file out. Now, I'm going to save this. That means when this loads, if I cat that file, so cat the CYA.conf file, you can see here we no longer have that /custom/log. Any new backup, brand new, will not have that file. But if I go ahead here and I show you running this, so let me go ahead and, well, we don't need sudo, CYA space, let's see, keep name file test overwrite. If I can spell here, right? So now you can see here we don't have /custom/log, but let's go into that points, and then we're going to go into keep file keep or test. So we go into CYA backup files, go into custom, and now I ls this. See, the log file is still here. That's because it's not actually removing any files. But when you go to restore, they will not be there. So you have to manually remove those files. It's not going to clean out any files, but it will no longer back them up or sync them. It will also no longer won't restore them. So that's how you back up files. I'll see you in the next video.